Hi friends, how are you? Welcome to another installment of the day of the week that I love, because we are doing an Ask Me Anything. This is your opportunity to ask me questions and get answers. Now, for those of you guys who are joining us live, leave your questions here and I will do my best to answer live. But before we get into that, I have two things to talk about. Instagram has recently had two, what I would say, pretty considerable updates, and I wanted to make sure that you were in the know and the first to know. So number one, you can embed your IGTV videos into your blog and website. So yesterday, on Instagram, on my stories, I showed how you can go to your Instagram account on your desktop. You could select an IGTV video, and when you select on it, in the upper right-hand corner, you will see three dots. Now, this is where the update comes in. When you click on the three dots, you will be able to get your IGTV embed code. You press the copy button, and you can go to your blog post, and you paste the text. And when you take your blog post live, your IGTV video now exists in your blog post, which is really incredible. So this is like a big move on Instagram to emulate and duplicate what YouTube is doing. This, my friends, is pretty significant. So people are like, I'm not sure if I should be doing videos on IGTV. Oh, now you can embed them the exact same way you were able to embed your Facebook videos. Very intriguing. The second big update is that you can schedule your Instagram post. Now, this is a big, big deal because for a while, you could not schedule your Instagram post. Now, on Facebook, Facebook has the Facebook scheduler. Now, there were also third-party scheduling platforms like Hootsuite and, Later, all these other platforms. But Facebook makes no qualms. They really want people to use their on-platform scheduler. Well, Instagram has announced that you could schedule your posts with one condition. And that was actually asked yesterday. So we're going to dive into a question that's been asked yesterday. KM Robinson said, are you switching to an Instagram business account now that we could schedule Instagram posts through Facebook Creator? I'm still undecided, but they just announced the feature, so I am still processing. Okay, so Facebook announced the Facebook Creator account, and with your Creator account, you can do multiple things on Facebook that will be able to be translated to Instagram. They're trying to create synergy between platforms so people don't have to hop back and forth. So you can schedule your post on your Facebook page. And if you have a Facebook Creator account, you can also schedule your post directly to Instagram if you have a business account. Now, KM asked, hey, Jasmine, are you switching to a business account? I'm not switching to a business account, at least not yet. Maybe that changes tomorrow, but the way that my business is structured and the way that I engage on social media, I plan out all of my posts, but I really do post in real time. Like, I find it super valuable for me to be able to post and then respond to comments as quickly as possible. Now, there are other people who are so busy and pulled in so many different directions that scheduling their posts is an absolute must. If that's the case, using whatever platform scheduler is available, like on Facebook and on Instagram, I believe, and it's purely hypothesis, but I believe that the algorithm will look favorably on platform schedulers as opposed to third-party platform schedulers. Again, this is just a hypothesis, but when I tested it, I saw that my posts that I shared in real time and organically did better than the posts that I scheduled using the Facebook scheduler. But when I used a third-party scheduler, it performed even worse than the Facebook scheduler. And this is me doing it again and again. Again, this is just my experience. You might have something totally different. But if you're saying, I absolutely have to schedule my posts, then I would recommend using an on-app platform scheduler. So if you're interested in learning more about the Facebook Creator account, you can go to facebook.com/Creator Studio. Okay, I just want to make sure and give up those two updates for what's happening on Instagram and simultaneously on Facebook. If you have questions, leave them here. Okay, let's dive into your Q&A. We're going to dive right into Stephanie. Stephanie says, Something I struggle with to this day. I don't really market to families, but somehow I still book them, which is awesome. Should I have superstar pages for family-oriented work and another one for weddings? I've asked my followers on Instagram and they seem to like seeing both, but would it help for me to separate them? Okay, so here's a business owner. Now, you might not be a photographer. You might not shoot families, but Stephanie is saying, I run a business and I'm putting out content for two different customers, a bride and a family. And she's saying, for some reason, like I'm not really putting out content for families and I'm still booking them. Do you think I should have another account? And my response is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Because if Stephanie is getting clients and she's getting the amount of clients that she likes and the type of clients that she likes at the frequency in which she likes, she should not be bringing on more work to do. Now, if Stephanie or you are watching and you're like, I am targeting two different clients and I'm not getting enough work, then my advice would be, if it's broke, fix it, right? So I am a big believer in creating content specifically for the end user. That is always my knee-jerk advice. Hey, you should be creating content that your dream customer wants to see. But then along comes Stephanie, and Stephanie's like, I'm making content for brides and families are still booking me and I like it. Don't change anything. And that actually leads a pretty good segue into our next question, which comes from Amy. Now, it's a little bit long, so I'm going to synthesize it. She says, I'm in Overwhelm. I have a personal Instagram, a business Instagram, a personal Facebook, and a business Facebook. And I also help my 9-to-5 social media that just adds to the digital madness. I can't keep up, so I find I just don't do that. She can't keep up. So what she's saying is, Jasmine, I have 2 accounts on Instagram, personal, business. I have 2 accounts on Facebook, personal and business. She's like, because I have all these accounts, I'm not keeping up. I'm overwhelmed. Therefore, I don't do it. She's like, what do I want to do? I want to have 1 Instagram account and 1 Facebook account. But she's like, do you think it's weird that I would be talking about my business from 1 account? She's like, I end up friending my clients anyway. Now, her name was Amy. Amy said in her post that she cleans houses. And she's saying, Jasmine, between me cleaning houses 9 to 5 and my social media platforms, I can't keep up, so then I just don't do it. And lo and behold, Kayla said, this is my problem too. I can't keep up. I feel overwhelmed and end up being inconsistent. If you are watching right now and you feel that struggle of, I have too much to do, therefore I don't do anything, can you leave a thumbs up? Can you leave a hand emoji like you're raising your hand? Because what I want to do is I really want to break down any idea that people feel like I'm the only person who's going through this. I'm the only person who's overwhelmed. I look at everybody else and everybody else has it going on and I'm overwhelmed, so I'm not going to do it. If you feel so overwhelmed that you're just like, I'm not going to post on Instagram today. I'm not going to post on Facebook. Nope, not going to put that YouTube video out because I don't have time to do it. If that is you, can you leave an emoji? Any sort of hand emoji. Thumbs up, high five, prayer, not the middle finger. Okay, because we family friendly up in here. Whenever I hear somebody saying I'm overwhelmed, so I don't take action, the thing I immediately tell people, if overwhelm prevents you from showing up, it's time to prevent the overwhelm. If overwhelm is preventing you from showing up, it is time to prevent the overwhelm. So how do you prevent the overwhelm? Well, we're all different. We are all busy in different ways, and we all have different objectives. There isn't like one equation that you apply and say, oh, look at that, I'm not overwhelmed anymore. You get to determine what is overwhelming you. When I read what Amy says, and when I read what Kayla says, my mind immediately goes to, well, listen, you're not showing up. What do you think is making it difficult? When I hear them say, my business accounts are just making me stressed out, I feel like I have to be super professional and I'm not showing up, but I really just want to be my personal account and I want to friend my clients and I want to talk about what I'm doing and I want to showcase my work and I just want to be me. Remove anything you don't want to do that is getting in the way of you doing what you want to do. Remove anything you do not want to do that is getting in the way of you taking action. Because what happens is Kayla and Amy are sitting here saying, I'm not taking action because I'm overwhelmed. Well, take out what's overwhelming you. You get to make the rules for your social media. I'm going to go a little bit on a detour here, but I feel like I'm going to bring it all back together. 4 months ago, my husband, my business partner, gave me a gift that I've been wanting for a while. I want to work out with a personal trainer, but I didn't want to do it alone. And so my husband agreed for us to go and start twice a week to meet with a personal trainer. And I dig this personal trainer. I think he's amazing. And every time we meet with him, he gives us like a pep talk. Like, hey, are you staying away from grains? Are you staying away from sugar? Are you staying away from dairy? Are you staying away from alcohol? And I'm like, kinda. When I talk to somebody who is so passionate about what he does, it's easy for him not to drink alcohol, not to eat grains, not to eat dairy. He meal preps. Like, he does all the things. And I look at that and I'm like, that's really admirable. And whenever I hang out with him, I always feel like I'm less than. Like, hey, I enjoy a glass of wine. Like, dang it. But then I have the decision. I can be overwhelmed and look at his advice and say, I'm so overwhelmed, I'm just not going to make any changes in my diet or in my exercise because it's just, if I can't do it all, then I'm not going to do anything. I can easily make that decision. Or I can say, listen, bro, I'll cut out grains. I'm going to enjoy wine. Sorry. Like, I get to decide my terms. But because I decide my terms, I cannot complain that my thighs still touch. I cannot complain that my arm jiggles. I'm drinking wine. I'm not overwhelmed. I'm still working out. I'm making the best decisions I can. But I refuse to say because I can't do everything, I won't do anything. No. You get to choose the terms in which you are overwhelmed, and then you get to take action in your diet, on social media, in your business. You remove what is overwhelming you in order for you to take action. Let me know if that makes sense. JD, how are we doing? Okay, it's very deep. He says, good. We're doing good. Okay, let's get into Bethany Armstrong. Is Facebook Creator page different than the Facebook Creator app? From what I understand, and I really need to do a little bit more homework in it, it's actually like an extension. Like, it's an account that you can use as part of your page. It's like taking a different, you're denoting your page to be Creator. There's that. And also, it works very well for influencers because Facebook and Instagram are trying to find a way that people can promote product and be fully disclose that they're promoting a product, right? So there's people who are using Facebook and Instagram as their main marketing vehicle in their business, but Facebook's like, hey, we're responsible to let people know if you're making money as a result of that. So they're trying to create a lot more transparency. Renee Stengel says, so what happens after the video? Does it go to your own accounts in the next video or to other videos of IG's choice? Right now, and at the point of us recording, Renee is asking specifically for the IGTV when you upload it to your page. Right now, it just stays on your page in that video. I can't tell, very similar to YouTube, I can't tell what will happen is if they let your next IGT video play or put in other videos that they recommend. It's not quite there yet. I mean, this is was just announced yesterday. So still a lot of stuff. And as I learn and watch more, I'll be passing all that information. Okay, let's dive into Regina. She says, how do you get out of content rut? I feel like the past few weeks I'm getting writer's block. I can't seem to find inspiration. I took vacation and time off, but still having trouble getting refreshed with content and value to post. Okay, let's do another one of these moments. I'm going to ask for a favor on behalf of Regina and behalf of anybody else who feels like they're in a creative rut. If you have been in a creative rut or you are in a creative rut, can you leave me another hand emoji? Praise hands, 2 thumbs up, the jazz hands. I don't care what it is. I just want us right now as a community to like raise our hand and say, I too know what it is like to be in a creative rut. If you are building a business, it is not a matter of if this will happen. It is a matter of when it will happen. I have been there before and I know I will be there again in the future. But I am less afraid of the creative ruts for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, that we have these God-given emotions so that we can feel them all at 100%. We feel pain so that we fully enjoy the pleasure of joy. We go through anger so that we fully enjoy the pleasure of delight. We go through sadness so that we fully enjoy the pleasure of happiness. Being in a creative rut is a gift. Why? Because when you get into your zone of creating, you're like, I'm on fire. I'm lit up. I'm excited. I know what it felt like to walk through the desert, and now I'm in my creative oasis. Friends, when you are in a rut, it is the universe giving you a gift saying, taste this now and don't you forget, because if you continue to show up, it's going to get really, really good. The question is, will you continue showing up? Whenever I get into a creative rut, the first thing because let's explain what the creative rut is, right? It's me sharing and doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Now, I know Regina. Regina is a member of Social Curator, my monthly social media membership, and she shows up in that group and she's showing up on this page. So I know she's a fitness professional. She does meal planning, she does exercises, she does health and wellness, and she's like, Jasmine, if I have to do, I'm just guessing. Regina didn't tell me this. I'm guessing. So Regina, forgive me if I'm overstepping my boundaries. But I'm going to guess you're like, if I have to do another Instagram TV about meal prep, I'm going to lose it. If I have to do another Instagram post about the proper form of a squat, I'm going to lose it. Okay, fine. We all know the feeling of creating content, the same content, and expecting a different result. So this is what I do to keep things a little interesting. Get out of a creative rut by giving yourself creative challenges. So what does this mean? If you know that you are going to be creating similar content, what can you do to make it harder for yourself to show how good you are? For instance, for over a decade and over 2,200 posts, I have a blog, and for the first 2,200 posts, should I repeat that again? For the first 2,200 posts, they were all about photography. I talked about how I shoot in harsh light, how I shoot in dark light, how I shoot in churches, how I shoot in fields, how I shoot in mid-right, how I shoot in bedrooms, how I shoot in ballrooms, how I did every stinking post. And after years, 6-7 years of doing this, I was like, I literally have written everything I possibly can about shooting. So then what I would do is on a wedding day, I would think of myself, what could I do to give myself a challenge that would make this even harder to showcase that I can handle what it is I'm asking people to do. So there's this one example off the top of my head. I was shooting an African-American groom and a Caucasian bride. He was wearing a black tux and she was wearing a white dress, and she's Caucasian with bright blonde hair, blue eyes. And there we are on the coast, okay, by the ocean. It is 12 o'clock noon. Most of his groomsmen are African-American wearing black tuxes, and most of the bridesmaids are Caucasian wearing very, very, very light pink dresses. So to anybody who's watching and not a photographer, you're hearing this and saying, Okay. But anybody who's a photographer is hearing this situation and they're like, dang, how did you do that? How did you meter the light? How did you get everybody and not blow out highlights? How did you keep your blacks blacks and your whites whites? And I'm not talking about race. I'm talking about clothing. How did you keep the black tux black? And how did you keep the white wedding dress white? And this was a challenge. I, on a wedding day, intentionally went out of my way to give myself a challenge. One, to deliver to the client the absolute best experience and the best photo, because I was going to be unafraid of all the hard things around me on that day. I say, I rise. And you want to know what? It was still to this day one of the hardest stinking shots I had to pull off. And I did it. And when I shared that content on my blog post about how I did it, the content was the same. How to shoot outdoors on a bright day. But the challenge then became how to shoot outdoors on a bright day by the ocean with skin tones and clothing tones all over the board. So Regina, and anybody else who is in a creative rut, my advice to you is keep the content the same, make it harder for yourself. If anybody likes what you guys are seeing and you like these conversations, this is my invitation to you to subscribe, jasminestar.com/subscribe, because every week I send a newsletter and I talk about business, I talk about life, I talk about the hustle, I talk about getting what it is we want to get done. I would love to see you there. And no, I do not pitch on my emails. I pitch 3 times a year, okay? So how many weeks are there in a year? 52? 56? 50-something? You have my word that 45 of them are all going to be value driven. There you go. Let's get into some Q&A. Woo! All right. Victoria says, in late but here. Stuck with balancing my content between photography for fitness professionals and starting to publicize that I'm a fitness professional too, and more qualified each exam I pass. Victoria, I love this. I think this is absolutely fantastic. I totally think it's synergistic. You are going to be in an absolute amazing position to talk about the value of photography for fitness professionals. Period. That's your whole bent. The value of photography for fitness professionals. And you can talk about it from 2 perspectives. You being the photographer for fitness professionals, and you being a fitness professional who also invests in getting photos of herself. Now, it could be you just setting up your tripod and a self-timer, or it could be you asking another photographer to take photos of you. My friend, you are in even better situation now. You can now talk about how certain poses magnify the physique. You can also talk about eating for performance and how do you prep before a photo shoot. As a fitness professional, Dollface McGee, you have this dialed in. Lock that in. Your consumer is also your peer. That is brilliant. Okay. Sally says, I love your newsletter. They're only subscribed newsletter I religiously read. Thank you, Sally. Thank you, Sally, for co-signing. Because right now, these days, this goes back to a business principle. Somebody once told me, when everybody zigs, you zag. Right? So right now, everybody is using newsletters just to sell. Like, buy this thing, sign up for this, buy this thing, sign up for that. And I hate reading newsletters now. I'm like, seriously, why is everybody sending me long form emails selling me something? No gracias. I don't want to be it anymore. So I decided I want my newsletters to just be like, what are we going through? How do we get to where we want to go? A nice, loving, swift kick in the pants. That's what I want to do. Crystal said, I'm coming to see you in Tennessee. Crystal, yes. Okay, Crystal is a member of Social Curator, and I do private meetups whenever myself and my husband and my business partner, JD, whenever we travel, we try to, the best of our ability, connect with local curators in our membership. Now, these are private events. You have to be a member of Social Curator to go to them, but they're free. So I'm going to be speaking at an event in Tennessee called the Business Boutique, and we are going to be having a private small event for any social curators who are at that event or in the Tennessee area. We're going to have a little fun. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. And if you're a member of Social Curator, we also have plans in September to be in New York City. I'm going to be speaking at an event out there. And so we're going to have a very, very, very low key, like legit low key just meet and greet, have some wine, let's talk. Because JD and I are so dedicated to pouring into the social curator community. I, every week, show up to have these conversations to say thank you for being here. I am dedicated to your journey, your success, and you being able to do the thing that you want to do. I have been so blessed to get to this point in my life and my career to where I can look back and say everything I thought that was impossible was actually possible when I worked hard enough. So now when people tell me they have these wild and crazy, ridiculous dreams, I don't say that's wild and ridiculous. I say, how are you going to get it done? I will hold space for people who say, this is impossible for me. I will look across from you and say, no, my friend, it is possible if you have a plan, if you show up, and if you work hard enough. Thank you guys for being here. Every week I show up on Wednesdays and it is an amazing opportunity. I feel extraordinarily blessed. I will see you guys next Wednesday here on my Facebook page, on YouTube, on Instagram. I show up for you to serve you and I hope we connect. If there's anything I could do, leave a comment, tag a friend who needs to see it too. I hope you guys have a good one. Bye y'all.